Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is the last video you will be seeing from me. My YouTube career is over. Anyways, so let's talk about this research paper. I'm sure we all had so much fun doing it. I suffered a mental breakdown, just a little bit. But it got done. It is Thursday and we are turning this in. Where do I want to start? My first leaf. So my big leaf was domestic violence. In my first leaf, actually, to be more specific, it was domestic violence throughout the years. My first leaf, so my first leaf comes from France, 1845, focusing on the 19th century, where domestic violence wasn't really talked about as much, and when it was, it had a lot to do with alcoholism. Anyways, though, it was definitely, Barnes didn't like that I used this word, or the concept, but it was accepted back then. When people found out that they were abusing their wives, no one really was surprised or cared. They thought of it as punishment for being disobedient or whatnot, because men in that time period really controlled their wives and everything their wives did. So that's my first leaf. So then my second leaf moves into a brochure from the 1970s on the options a DV shelter holds for domestic violence victims, obviously. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to say about this, because what I focused on at this point was the main reason why women stay in a relationship like this. So one of the reasons was because a lot of women don't know about DV shelters and what they have to offer. So they think that they're going to be stuck financially if they leave their partner and not have anywhere to go or food to eat or clothes on their backs or anything like that. Meanwhile, DV shelters have counseling. They have, obviously, a roof over your head. They point you in the direction of, like, getting actual housing to get you back on your feet. They have shelter in the sense that no one is allowed to know where these houses are, so no one can just, like, come in and kill you or whatever. So there's that. I'm sorry for that, by the way. Okay, let's take this off because that's going to keep going on. So a lot of people don't know about those options. Another thing is they think about all the positives in the relationship, like, oh, he brought me this today. That means he loves me so much. This is going to make up for him punching me in the face the other night. I also forgot to mention that in these relationships, the men, or women, I guess, typically manipulate their victims. So at this point, they are so broken and damaged that they just believe whatever their partner tells them or their abuser tells them. So I pretty much just focused on all those ways that why the victim would stay. Okay, now we're moving to the third leaf. It was the Rihanna and Eminem music video. Love the Way You Lie. There I discuss reasons why a woman would stay too. I also discuss how she thinks about all the things, like all the memories tied behind the relationship, like when it was good in the beginning, because at one point it shows her flashing back and she chooses to stay pretty much because, you know, she has so much invested in the relationship and she doesn't want to lose that. And she has hope that he will turn around and be good to her. I forgot to mention in the brochure, I also explain options. Because a lot of women don't realize the options they have and they stay. When in reality, that's the worst thing you could do. Because if you do stay, obviously you're going to keep getting hurt. And there's a chance you could even be killed. And it's not fair to yourself because no one deserves that. Maybe I'll give now I'll kind of give some background. I hate to get personal, but I guess let's do it. So I chose this topic right now because my sister and her kids were never abused by her ex, but her ex has a really bad drug problem and their situation was very DV. And she has been living with me for the past 2 weeks and I have been seeing the struggle that she's been going through escaping this relationship. And it inspired me to write a paper to get a better understanding of why a woman would stay in a relationship like this. Because personally, myself, obviously I haven't been in this situation, but myself, I don't take crap, from anyone. So it was interesting to explore this topic and get in the minds of victims that go through this. So now maybe I can relate to her a little more and understand what she's going through because it is tough. I see that. But to get off the heavy topic, I've had such an amazing summer with all of you, and I'm so glad to have gotten close to most of you. Jen's Bunnies Forever, yes, that was so funny. But yeah, I'm always here if anyone needs to talk, just needs a friend. But yeah, everyone have a good rest of your summer. And if you're doing the math program, I'll see you there. Bye.